their little girls were so excited to see my pictures on the sides of the road, on the big billboard, to see me running for sheriff. And they were like, Mom, Dad, you've got to vote for her. You've got it. And they won me votes.
Sheriff Paula Dance is the first ever Black woman to hold the post in our state. And she spent the last 25 years walking through the front entrance of the Pitt County Sheriff's Office, noticing the portraits of those before her and realizing it's time for a change.
As I look back at little brown girls and little brown boys, I wanted them, to be able to look at someone who look up to someone who looks like them and say, that's something that I can do as well.
Dance, the youngest of 8 children, grew up in the neighboring Martin County. She worked throughout her childhood on her family's tobacco farm and later pursued a degree in computer programming. She later took a clerk job at the Martin County Sheriff's Office and began to set her sights a bit higher.
All the deputies were men. There were no female deputies. And so one day I said, you know what, I want to do what those guys are doing.
She went through the same training to become a sheriff's deputy as the men. However,
they were resistant to women being on the road. So although they swore me in, it was more of a, but you still need to be in the office. Well, that's not what I signed up for.
That's when she moved from her hometown to work for the Pitt County Sheriff's Office, and she never left.
You should set your own limits. In fact, I often say, have no limits. Right, it's been the greatest honor of my life. When I ran for sheriff, I didn't run to be the first African-American female sheriff. I ran to be the sheriff. It just so happened that I'm an African-American female. I am the first African-American sheriff for Pitt County. I'm the first African-American female sheriff in the state of North Carolina. To whom much is given, much is required. So I know that I am now thrown into a position of not only running the county, but being a role model for other women in law enforcement, so that they will know that there is some place in leadership that we belong. And so I'm proud to be that person to take the lead. I hope I make people proud. I hope I make other women proud, and I hope that I encourage other women, especially women who look like me, or little girls who look like me, to know that there is some place for us and that we belong. And so I hold my head up and I embrace that role while doing a job. Yes. That's very important. Yes, so Pitt County, which is where I'm sheriff at, are doing really, really innovative things in dealing with the mental health issues and the co-occurring substance use issues. As it relates to mental health, we have embedded mental health professionals that responds along with our officers when we respond to calls for mental crisis. And that has been a huge step in addressing the mental health issues that we find ourselves in Pitt County. One of the other things that we're doing, we have some very comprehensive programs that deals with the co-occurring substance use abuse crisis. These programs are SHARP and WARE. SHARP is the acronym for Sheriff Heroin Addiction Recovery Program. WARE is the acronym for Women's Empowerment and Recovery Program. Both of these programs are very comprehensive programs that brings in counseling, peer-to-peer support, and all kinds of services to help people find themselves on the right path to recovery from addictions. So we have found that these programs have reduced recidivism in Pitt County. We're about 10% lower than what the state level is for recidivism. As a result of these programs, we use resources that are already established, that are already within our community. We utilize those programs or services to add to our programs. We've had some very, very good success stories to come out of these programs. And so we're really excited to continue to work within our community by meeting people where they're at in the detention center. These are the people who are most in need. We recently applied for and received a $1.3 million grant that helps us to expand on these programs. Now we're able to offer rideshare as a result of the new grant that we received. So we're continuing to expand, we're continuing to have successes, and we're continuing to meet the needs, again, for people by meeting them where they're at.